Okay, I would like to call to order the August 17th, 2015 meeting of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners. Welcome. It's good to have everybody with us tonight. I would remind everyone to please silence your cell phones and electronic devices, and I haven't done mine either, so I'll do it at the same time. We are happy to have with us tonight Girl Scout Cadet Troop 1679 from McGill Baptist Church, and if you would, join me in standing for the presentation of colors.
Color Guard advance. Prepare to post the colors. Post the colors. Please join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard return to posts.
Thank you. It is our pleasure to have with us tonight Reverend Kevin Seeger from the Associate Pastor of Pitts Baptist Church for our invocation.
Let's pray together. God, we do thank you for the privilege that we have to come before you with our petitions, God. We know the Scripture is clear that you place those in places over authority over us, and God, you know each and every one of them. So God, we pray tonight that you would give them wisdom and understanding as different decisions are made tonight, that they would seek your face. God, that you'd watch over them. We thank you that we still live in a county who opens their session in coming before you, God, in prayer. God, we thank you for that. Give us a good meeting tonight, and again, give wisdom. Thank you for all you do for us and for this great Cabarrus County that we live in. And we ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, we would like to observe a moment of silence for two people that we have lost over the past few weeks. One is Coleman Keeter. Coleman was a native of Lawndale, North Carolina, and a graduate of Appalachian State University. He was the director of the Water and Sewer Authority of Cabarrus County. Coleman retired from Wassac on January 31st, 2015, as serving as executive director for 9 years. He had 30 years of valuable experience in his field that contributed greatly to the Water and Sewer Authority of Cabarrus County and to this community. He was highly involved in supporting the United Way and other area nonprofits. We also lost Margaret Haggerty, more commonly known as the local Guinness World Record holder as the oldest person to have competed in a marathon on each of the 7 continents. Margaret Haggerty was well known and respected among the running community as well as locally here in Cabarrus County. She was active in our community in many ways. She participated in the Cabarrus County Senior Games since they began in 1985. She was an AARP volunteer at the Concord Senior Center to help with tax preparation and also served on the Parks Commission from 1994 to 2000. She was a poll worker for the Board of Elections, serving her last 20-plus years at the Concord Senior Center voting location. Many of us had the opportunity to know Ms. Haggerty. I heard her give a program just recently, and I was amazed at how thorough and organized that she was, and she will certainly be missed. Please join with me in a moment of silence recognizing these two individuals. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to ask the Girl Scout Cadet Troop 1679 to come forward to be recognized. We thank you for being with us tonight, and if you would come to the microphone and tell us your name and a little something about what you like about Scouts. And Ms. Honeycutt will have pins for you to your left.
My name is Elena Ablard. I'm going into 9th grade at Central Cabarrus High School, and I really like getting awarded badges and being able to do activities in Girl Scouts.
My name is Emily Shropshire, and I'm an 8th grader at Concord Middle School, and I enjoy getting badges and doing the activities to get them.
Thank you.
My name is Trinity Garlick, and I'm going into 9th grade at Cox Mill High School. And the thing I like about Girl Scouts is that we get to travel a lot and earn badges and do different activities.
Thank you.
I'm Alexis Robertson. I'm a 9th grader going to Cox Mill High School. And the thing I like about Girl Scouts is hanging out with friends and trying new things.
Thank you.
My name is Hayla Wagner. I'm going into 10th grade at Cabarrus Kannapolis Early College High School, and I like going on trips with the Girl Scouts.
Thank you. We appreciate all of you being with us tonight. First item on our agenda tonight is the approval or correction of the minutes, and I think you all have copies and hopefully have had a chance to look those over. Do I hear a motion in that regard? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Next item is approval of the agenda, including the changes on page 518. Do I hear a motion to approve our agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the added amendments.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Next is our recognitions and presentations. And we have before us, if I can get to the correct page, and this will be a motion to adopt a proclamation for Constitution Week. This request comes from the Cabarrus Black Boys chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and they have requested that we adopt a proclamation in observance of Constitution Week and the signing of the U.S. Constitution. And I will read that proclamation now. Whereas September 17th, 2015 marks the 228th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuance of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims September 17th through 23rd, 2015 as Constitution Week in Cabarrus County, and urge our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787. Do I hear a motion in regards to this proclamation?
I'll move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And is that a second, Commissioner Honeycutt?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and motion passes. Next are our informal public comments. And we have one person that has filled out a card tonight, and that is Kathy Wester.
Good evening, everyone. Distinguished panel. My name is Kathy Wester. I'm Regional Vice President of Sales for the Rink Wester 726 Foundation. Our company is a nonprofit consortium of venture capital startups, most of which were launched by refugees and asylum seekers from 17 different countries, now working together under the umbrella of our company, one of which is this innovative e-tree initiative. Welcome to the Green Revolution. We're here today to petition the panel to include our technology in the commercial and residential landscape of Cabarrus County, a technology perfect for venues like parks, malls, area charter schools, universities, newly developed housing complexes, and especially parks. I left a packet of information for everyone. We provided sheets that outline in precise detail all of the functions and benefits of our e-tree and its necessary inclusion in a green and more sustainable Cabarrus County. I also left information with Ms. Londa Strong for the Cabarrus County Parks and Recreation and also the City of Concord Parks and Recreation. Our e-tree provides shaded recreation area with benches, services-free Wi-Fi, cold drinking water, a docking station to charge smartphones and tablets, and also a water trough for animals. Also night illumination for if you're in the parks in the evening. I met just this morning with commissioners from Mecklenburg County, and they were very excited about it. And I understand that this is a public forum and not a venue for serious negotiations, but I do want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share with you our e-tree technology. And I would love to set up individual meetings with everyone to discuss the clear and unmistakable possibilities our technology presents. Thank you so much for your time this evening, and I think Cabarrus County should have the first tree.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that did not get a chance to fill out a card that wishes to speak tonight? If not, we'll move to the next item on our agenda, which is old business. This would be the ratification of updated board goals. And Kasha Thompson is going to talk with us about that.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Deputy County Manager Jonathan Marshall. This is a follow-up to our discussion in July regarding the ratification of updated board goals. The board's vision, mission, and goals have been examined, discussed, and updated after feedback from a series of strategic retreats and workshops that took place earlier this year. The board's vision and mission remain the same, but minor updates were recommended to the goals. After various opportunities for response, no further revisions were suggested after the work session in July. So we're asking the board for a motion to ratify the updated Board of Commissioners' vision, mission, and goals. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And of course, as you mentioned, we have discussed this at length over quite a period of time. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion that we approve this update of board goals.
I'll move for approval.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we move on to our consent agenda. And of course, you all have a list of those items before you, which we have discussed at length during our work session 2 weeks ago. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that passes the motion for our consent agenda. Next item is new business. First item is Human Services, approval to submit 5310 transportation grant application. And this does require a public hearing. Mr. Rose, anything you need to share with us before we open that public hearing? Great. Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak in regards to our application or our action to approve the 5310 grant application? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Thank you. Okay, second item on our agenda is from Planning and Development. Vote to approve the submission of the application. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the submission of the 5310 application.
So moved.
Okay. Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Now, next item. Planning and Development Home Program Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report. And we will need a public hearing on that as well. Go ahead, Ms. Sifford.
That's correct. Annually, we're required to report on our activities for the home program. In the past year, we completed 1 unit and have 2 underway. We expended $18,995, and we just need to hold a public hearing. All the information has been submitted already to Concord for the submission that they make to HUD, so there will be no action necessary, just a public hearing.
Great, thank you. Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody that wishes to speak in regard to the Home Program Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. And I think we do not require additional action on that. Next item from Planning and Development is the proposed adoption of the Town of Harrisburg Comprehensive Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Greenway Master Plan. And this also will require a public hearing, and Susie Morris is here to talk with us about that.
Good evening. If you remember at the work session, we talked about this plan. The benefit of this plan is that it covers the Harrisburg area plan, which is the plan that we co-adopted with the town of Harrisburg. This would include bike routes that are recognized by the state. It also includes potential greenway connections. As we talked about in the work session, what this document does is it really brings all of the documents we already have adopted to one place for staff to use, and then also for Parks and Recreation staff to be able to apply for joint grant money or joint projects if they decide to do so with the town of Harrisburg. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Okay, if not, we will open the public hearing. And is there anyone that wishes to speak on the adoption of the Town of Harrisburg Comprehensive Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Greenway Master Plan? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. And now I would entertain a motion to adopt the plan.
I'll make a motion to adopt the Town of Harrisburg Comprehensive Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Greenway Master Plan as a supplement to the Harrisburg Area Land Use Plan.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. Next, we're to item 4 from Planning and Development, proposed text amendments to Planning Ordinance. And Susie Morris is back to talk with us again about that.
If you remember at the work session, we talked a lot about the changes that we had to make because of the session law that was passed that restricted local governments from regulating architectural standards on single-family homes or 1- and 2-family dwellings. So a lot of the changes are related to that. We also have some clarifications in the chapters related to administration of the ordinance. We also included some changes to Appendix B, which would hopefully help small business. It removes sidewalks, it takes out some of the limitations on building materials, and it also removes some of the calculations that were required as far as those materials when it came to fenestration and articulation. Based on the conversation that we had at the work session, the proposed limitation on the number of customers for home occupations was removed. And in Chapter 4, the clarification that Commissioner Shue asked for, that was added in. And then in Chapter 14, we are making some allowances for existing non-conforming uses that were there before we had the zoning ordinance. And in Chapter 4, we are also recognizing some pre-existing conditions that were in place before the 404 permit was adopted with the reservoir. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and you will need to hold a public hearing.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Morris? If not, we will open the public hearing in regards to the changes to the planning ordinance. And is there anybody that wishes to speak on this matter? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, and at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the changes to the zoning ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval on the motion to approve the proposed text amendments to the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Do I hear a second to that motion? Second. Okay, is there any discussion? Of course, for those who may be watching, we have had extensive discussion about this at our work session and gone through it in great detail. So if there's no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Active Living and Parks Fiscal Year 16 Matching Incentive Grant Requests. And Londa Strong is going to talk with us about that.
Thank you. As we discussed at the work session, the matching incentive grant program has been around for a long time. Some of the figures that I didn't have to give you at the work session was it started in 1977, and since 1977, Cabarrus County has put a little over $1.9 million into the program. The community groups have put a little over $2.3 million, and the total projects since 1977 that have been built it's almost $4.9 million, because sometimes the construction cost is more than the actual cost of what somebody puts in. So just wanted to share that with you. It's been a very successful program. So for $1.9 million, the citizens of Cabarrus County have almost $5 million worth of facilities and or improvements. The purpose of the incentive grant program is to provide seed monies for civic and community school groups to construct or improve recreation facilities, either on land owned by the county, the schools, or leased to one of those, or the municipalities, or leased to one of those. Over the years, with each board that has been in, there have been different priorities. So one of the things that we are doing right now, actually the property committee is meeting tonight to discuss the current guidelines after our work session, and we had some discussion. They're meeting tonight, and then Thursday night at our regular park commission meeting. Hopefully there will be some recommendations that we'll bring to you in September. But until then, what we have are the requests that were submitted for a total of $36,325 out of our $75,000 that we have in the budget. There is a second phase when all of the money is not spent in the first phase. We have a second phase that would be in November. So it's not, this money can be used then. There will be an opportunity for more groups to apply. Now that school is getting ready to be back in, there may be it may have a few more requests from them as well as the volunteer athletic associations. So what you have in front of you is the $36,325 request. And I don't know if you want me, I know you have a copy of each one of those. I mean, I'll be glad to go through them if you want me to.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, do you have questions for Ms. Strong?
I have one. I think at our workshop, we discussed a couple of these items that we felt belonged more properly in the school requests. I don't know how the other commissioners feel about that, but I probably would not vote for those tonight. One being the Bethel School sign, and one being the Mount Pleasant drop-off awning. I felt that they really needed to come from the school system as part of their...
With those two removed from the request, that would be a recommendation of $15,670.25 with those two taken out for this first phase.
You said that too fast for me. Say it again.
$15,670.25, which would leave $59,329.75 for the second phase.
Well, I would tend to agree with Commissioner Minot at this time based on, I think in the past, maybe you guys had said that you had done this, but that typically it was for projects to help with the park aspect of it. So this is my first time for it to come before me, so I feel like if I'm going to try to do it the way it's meant to be done, that's the way I should go this time. So that's how I would look at it.
And I tend to agree with both my commissioner candidates here. Well, not candidates, but my fellow commissioners. We're done through that stage. But I would like to encourage, groups that are eligible to apply for this money to apply for it. And I feel like that pretty much everybody that applied got what they wanted. I don't remember the whole list, but it was pretty much a short list to the best of my memory. But because I am the liaison for Active Parks and Living, and I was there when this was all taking place. But like I said in the work session, I didn't have a vote on it, so I didn't have a say-so. But I would like, to encourage groups that would be eligible for this money to at least apply for it. But like Ms. Minot and Ms. Honeycutt said, we need to try to keep the school budget with the schools, and the counties with the counties, and active living in parks with active living in parks for the specified purposes, either that or revise the policy to allow for things like that. And I don't know that that's something we're going to do anytime soon, but you said you're going to look at it from the active living in parks, so we'll be excited to see what you bring back to us.
Yes, sir. And if you are there Thursday night, you'll be able to have input into that too.
Yeah, and while you're speaking about Thursday night, from my fellow commissioners, if you want to come witness the log rolling deal, we've got one of our volunteers, I believe it's Kevin Bryant, going on memory. He's going to show us how to do log rolling in the pool out at Camp Spencer. So if you want to come out for a swim or try your luck at it, it'll be out there.
It was my understanding that Commissioner Shue said he could stay on the log longer than Kevin.
I don't think so. I bet the county manager could probably do it pretty quick, though, couldn't he?
6 to 6:30, Camp Spencer Park.
Unfortunately, County Manager Commissioner Honeycutt and I will be at the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners meeting, or we would certainly be there. Yeah. Okay, back to the matter at hand. our recommendations for the matching incentive grants. Are there additional questions or discussion?
Just going back to what Commissioner Shue said, do you have the application deadline for the November deal yet, or know when that will be?
I believe it is November 12th. I think that's the correct date. But we'll send information out to everyone, and we'll have something else in the media as well.
Right, and I think there is a good section on our webpage that gives the full details of the guidelines and
Yes, sir.
the process and the application and so forth as well. That's accessible to everyone. So what would be your pleasure on this matter, Commissioners?
I would move that we accept this list with the elimination of the Bethel Elementary PTSO request and the Mount Pleasant Elementary PTO request.
Okay, and based on the information, that would give us a total of $15,670.25. Does that sound correct?
That sounds
Okay,
good.
do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, is there discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, next item on our agenda is from Cabarrus County Schools, funding for the Royal Oaks replacement school land purchase, and we're happy to have Tim Louder with us tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Morris, Commissioners. I appreciate you allowing us to add this to the agenda tonight. You may recall a couple months ago we came to you to purchase a piece of property there off Texas Avenue, which allowed us to have access to the back side of the Royal Oaks Elementary School site. I told you at that time we had 4 other parcels that we were currently negotiating on, and we have completed those negotiations. And tonight here to ask you to approve that transfer of funding so we may purchase those parcels and finalize all the property we need for Royal Oaks Elementary School replacement. We were able to acquire all 5 parcels actually at $15,000 below tax value as a group, which I thought was pretty good. Everything else was at tax value except for one in the church came in at $15,000 below, so we felt pretty good about those negotiations. We feel like it's a pretty fair price. The funding we're asking for tonight does include surveying and closing costs and some EA work that we will have to do as part of the closing. Okay.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Louder? Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the land purchases for the Royal Oaks Elementary School replacement project and authorize the finance director to prepare the appropriate budget amendment and project ordinances.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next item on our agenda is Central Iowa Workforce Development Consortium, a resolution to approve articles of associations, and County Manager Downs will talk with us about that.
This is the articles of association for the Central Iowa Workforce Development Consortium, which you are a member of, along with 6 other counties. With the recent adoption of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, which became effective on July 1st, 2015, there were some requirements that were passed down to those that would receive those funds from the federal and state government, and therefore the Department of Commerce is asking, which is a requirement of receiving and expending the funds, to have an adopted article of association. That article, the proposed articles are attached for your review. It sets up who would represent the counties, being the chairman of the boards, unless the board so choose to elect a different person. But then also it describes the makeup of the board. So the Central Iowa Workforce now is sort of on a tight schedule, so that we brought this and added it to your agenda here so that you could pass those articles of association. As you can see in there, Anson County, Cabarrus County, Iredell County, Lincoln County, Rowan, Stanley, and Union counties are the current members of the consortium. So we ask that you would approve the resolution that would thereby adopt the Articles of Association.
Okay, questions for Mr. Downs? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the resolution approving the Articles of Association for the Central Iowa Workforce Development Consortium.
I'll move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? Okay, we have a second. Is there discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. So we next go to appointments to boards and committees, and we have a rather lengthy list tonight. First are appointments and removals to the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. The terms of appointment for Sandra Miller and Diamond Staten Williams on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee expired July 31st. Both Ms. Miller and Ms. Staten Williams wish to be appointed. The term of appointment for Janet Haywood on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee expires August 31st. Due to work constraints, Ms. Haywood does not wish to serve another term. Applications to serve on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee have been received from Tara Smith and Walter Rumpel IV. Both have been pre-qualified by the Regional Ombudsman and are eligible to serve initial one-year terms. And there are currently 7 vacancies on that committee if there are folks watching tonight that would like to serve in that regard. So the requested action tonight is the first motion to reappoint individuals to the Adult Home Care Community Advisory Committee for 3-year terms ending July 31st, 2018. And that would be Sandra Miller and Diamond Staten Williams.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Our second motion would be to remove Janet Haywood from the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee roster and thank her for her service. Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. And then a motion to appoint individuals to the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee for initial 1-year terms ending August 31st, 2016. And those recommendations are Tara Smith and Walter Rumpel IV.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. And our next item are appointments to the Cabarrus County Animal Protection Advisory Board. This board established the Cabarrus County Animal Protection Advisory Board by its action at the regular meeting on August 17th, 2015. The newly established advisory board will have 5 members with staggered 2- and 3-year terms. Currently, we have received 3 applications. It's requested to appoint 3 members to the Cabarrus County Animal Protection Advisory Board for 3-year terms ending August 31st, 2018. And I think those applications are attached. And the three applicants are Ann Cannon, Carol Miller, and Michael Robinson.
I move for approval.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next is appointments and removals to the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission. The term of Ted Klutz, Concord Area Representative on the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission, ends August 31st. He has served 3 years as an alternate at-large member, and he does not wish to be reappointed. The term of Jonathan Rhett, alternate member on the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission, ends August 31st, 2015. He has served 3 years as an alternate member. He does not wish to be reappointed. Ms. Mary Blakeney's term as an at-large member expires August 31st, 2015. She is willing to be reappointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission and is eligible to fill the Concord area position vacated by Ted Klutz. An application has been received from Mr. James Leidecker, and he is eligible to fill the at-large member position vacated by Ms. Mary Blakeney. An application has been received from Mr. Steve Wise, and he is eligible to fill the alternate member position vacated by Jonathan Rhett. Mr. Richard Price represents the Midland area and is willing to be reappointed for another term. That's a lot of switching and swapping. So, Commissioners, I would at this time entertain a motion to remove Ted Klutz and Jonathan Rhett from the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission roster and thank them for their service.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. Next, we would entertain a motion to reappoint Mary Blakeney to the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission to fill the position vacated by Mr. Ted Klutz as the Concord Area Representative as a regular member for a 3-year term ending August 31st, 2018.
So moved.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next would be a motion to appoint James Leidecker to the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission as an at-large member to fill the position vacated by Ms. Mary Blakeney for a 3-year term ending August 31st, 2018.
I'll move for approval.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next would be a motion to appoint Steve Wise to the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission as an alternate member to fill the position vacated by Mr. Jonathan Rhett for a 3-year term ending August 31st, 2018. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next motion would be to appoint Richard Price to the Cabarrus County Planning and Zoning Commission as the Midland Area Representative for a 3-year term ending August 31st, 2018.
So moved.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. And I think that covers all the ones in that area. And And next we have appointments and removals for the Library Board of Trustees. Brenda Trott has served on the Cabarrus County Library Board of Trustees for 2 terms, spanning from July 20th to July 31st, 2015. To fill the vacancy, Ms. Trott leaves behind an application is on file from Candelaria Candy Lavis, who is eligible to represent the Kannapolis area on the Library Board of Trustees. Ms. Lavis has been a dedicated library patron and friend of the library for many years, as well as a tutor for the Cabarrus Literacy Council. Ms. Lavis resides in Rowan County. An exception to the residency provision of the appointment policy would be needed for her. Martha Dobson's term expires July 31st, 2015. Ms. Dobson serves as the Mount Pleasant area representative and is willing to serve another term. And so the requested actions would be, first, a motion to remove Brenda Trott from the Library Board of Trustees roster and thank her for her many years of service. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next motion would be to appoint an individual as the Kannapolis representative to the Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring July 31st, 2018, including an exception to the residency provision, and that appointment would be Candy Lavis.
So moved.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and that motion passes. Next would be a motion to reappoint Martha Dobson as Mount Pleasant representative to the Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring July 31st, 2018.
So moved.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. Next, we move to appointments and removals for the Human Services Advisory Board. A resignation has been received from Mary Stewart, who, due to other obligations, is no longer able to serve on the Human Services Advisory Board. It is requested to remove her name from the roster and appoint an individual to complete her unexpired term. And I think you have a copy of the applications on file attached. I'm getting.
I think that's actually a.
Yeah, I think we.
The Library Board of Trustees.
Yeah, we inadvertently got the. But the first list is for the Human Services Advisory Board. The next list is for the Library Board of Trustees. So disregard that one, and we're.
I make a motion to remove Mary Stewart from the Human Services Advisory Board roster and to thank her for her service. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And next, we would entertain a motion to appoint a replacement to the Human Services Advisory Board to complete an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2015.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Ann Lakaitis to the Human Services Advisory Board to complete that unexpired term.
Okay, do I hear a second to that motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next, we have appointments to the Cabarrus County Youth Commission. The Cabarrus County Youth Commission has received applications for vacant positions and is recommending approval for the following appointments: Michael Coward, A.L. Brown High School; Lauren Troll, A.L. Brown High School; Alona Murphy, Northwest Cabarrus High School; and Danica Ing from Hickory Ridge High School.
I move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. And next on our agenda are reports, and you see a number of those attached to our agenda. And now we will move to general comments by board members. Does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything in particular, but I would like to remind the viewing audience that the school year is about to get ready to crank up again on Monday, and to drive carefully, to watch out for the kids as they'll be getting on buses, and the roads will be full, getting their kids to school and back. And there wasn't a lot going on with Kannapolis City Schools this month. Their meeting was moved from 5 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and needless to say, I got there at 5, so they was already gone, so there's not a lot going on, but it's been, a quite busy summer. But I just wanted to remind everyone that be on the lookout for the kids and all the buses that when school starts back on Monday.
Thank you. Any other comments? I will mention a couple things, and we've had some discussion actually at our last meeting about our library system hours, and so I'm happy to announce that beginning Tuesday, September 8th, we will operate under new hours, and all of our library branches will be open 6 days a week. The hours for Mount Pleasant Library will be Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Concord, Kannapolis, and Harrisburg branches will be open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we're happy to extend that service beyond what we've had in recent years, and I think folks from the public will be very pleased as well. I serve on the Cabarrus County Public Transportation Advisory Board. We met this past week. Of course, this is the first month in the new year, and they reported 7,777 trips since July the 1st. So that is a lot of operations. They had 113 no-shows. Those are people that call for trips and then weren't there when they went to pick them up, and 801 cancellations. Folks on that committee or on that staff had very complimentary things to say about our Cabarrus County IT department, and they are working with them on a phone and email system that offers automatic reminders to people when they have trips scheduled, and hopefully that also gives them an option to cancel. So hopefully that will help to cut down on some of the no-shows that they have been experiencing. And so those folks continue to do a good job for us. Does anybody else have comments? Do we have a need of a closed session tonight? Yes, we do. Okay, so I would entertain a motion that we go into closed session regarding pending litigation and economic development as authorized by North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11, 3, and 4.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes, and we are in closed session. Thank you very much.